Hello everybody, welcome to Bad Big Games. I'm your host Joseph, and today we are going to be grading Bethesda's E3 press conference. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, Future Joe, start the show. The Bethesda conference. There was a lot of things riding on this conference, and one looming thing was Fallout 76. So before we slap a grade on this bad boy and call it a night, I'm gonna actually go through this conference game by game and tell you my highs, my lows, and everything in between. So first and foremost, let's talk about Fallout 76. It's the game that they bring up first, and it's the first game that they sort of apologize for. They say it, Fallout 76 did not go the way they wanted to. They've been having a lot of fixes along the way. They've added so many new features that kind of go through a bullet point list of adding new content, new weapons, and whatnot to the game since it's been out. It's fine. The apology was fine. Did it feel solely sincere? No, it felt like more PR jargon, but again, it was the first thing they brought up, which was certainly a way to start the show, and they brought the developers out there to promise that more content is coming, and they highlighted it. There's a new expansion pack coming in the fall that finally adds NPCs and factions into the game that you can align yourself with, which I felt was finally overdue, but finally you're getting Fallout atmosphere in a Fallout game other than just architecture. So that's awesome that they're not giving up on this game. And then they announced a battle royale mode, 52 players, land in a map. Only one person could be the overseer to Vault 76. Is it stupid? Yes. Is it unnecessary? Yes. But hey, if they can do it and they add that Fallout charm to it, who knows? You know, is this going to be the next big thing? Probably not. And they also did something pretty cool, which they have a free trial week starting July 10th to July 17th, or is that June? I think it's June. Yeah, it's June. So with that, you could check out the game, you could check out the new season and all that jazz. So yeah, Fallout 76, they get it right out of the way, and I feel like they did the best they can, but do I trust them? Only time will tell. Next, they bring out Elder Scrolls Blades, and they kind of just say, hey, this is early access. We got some things coming. Things are still being worked on. It's on iOS and Android. And I thought, fine, whatever, don't care. I want to get to the next game already. And then they did. Tango Gameworks. Holy crap. It's a new IP. A lot of rumors saying Evil Within 3. It is not. It's this game called Ghostwire Tokyo. It's an action adventure game with some spooky elements. Apparently people have gotten Thanos snapped, and you're trying to find out why. Game looks beautiful. Stunning. The lighting and the shadows in this game look insanely detailed. These people look like they're real people, and that kind of freaked me out a little bit. There are certain shots where I'm like, that could have been with a camera, or it could be in game. And so with that, it's no surprise that this game is a TBA, to be announced, because I'm pretty sure this Ghostwire game is going to be a next gen release, but it looks crazy. It looks dope. This one had my hype scales up to about an 8.5. It looks really cool. With that, they showed more Elder Scrolls Online. The trailer was cool. Am I gonna probably go back to Elder Scrolls Online though? Probably not. With that, we get a new free-to-play game. They talk a lot about mobile in this conference, which I thought was a little weird. It was kind of like, do you have phones? But everybody was jazzed for all these releases on stage. First one was actually pretty interesting. Commander Keen. It looks like a Cartoon Network Saturday morning cartoon, but they say fucking it. And I thought that was awesome. And apparently this is an early 90s id Software game that they're remaking for mobile. And yeah, the creative director on stage nailed it. She killed it. She seemed like she was super jazzed, super enthused about making this game. It was probably the first mobile game that I was actually intrigued to get into or actually try out, so I'll give him a plus here. And then after she gets off stage, Pete Hines talks about all the mobile games that they have, and it's at this part of the conference where I have completely checked out on. I don't know why they keep on bringing up mobile, and it seems like every single year it's more and more, and I'm getting sick and tired of it, Bethesda. I'm not a mobile gamer. It's getting to like the Blizzard, do you guys have phones? It's getting annoying. Then we get to Rage 2. It's more free DLC, new story, new weapons, new cheats, a lot of things, new vehicles. There's a mech in it now, pretty dope. I don't know if I'm gonna go back to it though. I just don't. I feel like I got enough of it. And so with that, let's get to the stuff that I was actually really excited about. That is Wolfenstein Cyberpilot. It's a $20 VR experience. Am I expecting it's going to be the best VR title I've ever played? No, but I'm expected to kill Nazis in a giant mech, so that's a plus. And then we get to Wolfenstein Youngblood, which I have not beaten Wolfenstein 1 and I have not beaten Wolfenstein 2, but this game actually makes me want to go and play those games after E3 craziness is all over. It looks awesome, and I can't wait to play with my co-host of the Trophy Room, Kyle, because this game looks freaking crazy, and I am super, super on board. Then Arcane Studios comes out. They got a new game in development called Deathloop. These are the creators of Dishonored and the remake of Prey. This is a 70s style action game. You play as one of two protagonists. One's a dude, one's a chick, and they're both trying to kill each other to either end the death loop or continue the death loop. It's really crazy, and from what Jason Schreier says, it's like Hitman takes on Dishonored. So I'm super on board. It looks really cool. Again, this is another TBA to be announced. I definitely think this is going to be a next-gen game. The game looks totally beautiful. And then they have this new streaming tech, which it looks like they're trying to combat bandwidth, and they're going to try to combat user connectivity so that you don't need the best bandwidth or the best internet to play games streaming. So that's really awesome. They had someone on stage with a mobile phone. They're just looking at her real weird while she's trying to play Doom. She did actually a job playing. It looked awesome. There was no stuttering. There was no frame rate. It was a live test. Okay, cool. And again, that's in an area probably has really great connection, but also given to a fact that there's so many people in that stage with cell service, that's something to take into consideration. So awesome. And it's cool to see that they're not just working on games, but next gen tech as well. And then we get to, and I can fill the notebook out. I don't even need it. Doom Eternal looks freaking awesome. It's coming out November 22nd, later in this year, so it's getting clear of all the holiday releases. That's awesome. And yeah, you're going to be visiting Earth, you're going to be visiting heaven, you're going to be visiting hell, and then the Sentinel plane of existence. So holy crap. And the cool thing about this is that, yeah, they showed a bit of a trailer, but it was all gameplay. You're seeing a person playing Doom, and it looked almost a little bit more like Doom's 2016, which is awesome to hear. You wanted to play like the last time you played it, but man, more weapons, more chaos. It seems faster, and yeah, the blade on your arm was awesome. Holy crap, stabbing people in the chest, like slitting their throats. Like, there was a lot of violence towards demons, so I can't necessarily hate on it. But there's also just a lot of gibbles on screen. Like, you're shooting a shoulder, you're seeing a gibble pop out of that shoulder, right? Like, it was just, God, demon brains everywhere, and I couldn't be more pumped. This game looks amazing. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And you just see the confidence of id Software coming up on stage, or sorry, Machine Games coming up on stage, because you know they have something badass. It's just the confidence that oozes off the two presenters on stage. The game looked dope. It looked amazing. And again, for the first time at E3, we saw actually gameplay footage. This was something that was missing, I felt, out of the Xbox conference, and some of which here on this conference, we finally got to say, hey, here, we're going to actually give you a reason to get hyped for this game. We're not just going to give you a fancy cinematic, but here's what the game's going to actually look like. Then lastly, they talk about a new multiplayer component. They talk about it as a first-person fighting game. Two people control demons, one person controls a slayer, and they're supposed to fight it out and duke it out. Looks interesting. It's weird that they didn't go back to team deathmatch, but hey, I'm down to clown. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, what's my score on this bad boy? I'm gonna actually give it a straight up B. Just because of the mobile stuff, and yeah, some of the Fallout stuff I'm still a skeptic on, though I'm hopeful. It's stuff that should have been there on release. Yet, at the same exact time, things like Wolfenstein, things like the new IPs that they showed off, Deathloop, and I shouldn't have thrown that notebook, and Ghostwire look really awesome, and yeah, Doom Eternal looks crazy. So there was 4 games that I was really impressed with, so I gotta give this a high B, man. It was a great conference. Bethesda yet again giving out some solid production work. on their conference. It looked great. It sounded great. And the one thing that I really love about all Bethesda conferences is it focuses on the individual. You see that Bethesda is not just a bunch of white dudes. There's women, there's people of color there on stage talking about their games. It's awesome to not just hear about diversity, but see it firsthand. And I know, oh my God, I'm getting all SJW. Look, I must be getting you sick. Are you okay? Should I check your fever? Fucking snowflakes. So yeah, I liked it. So the presentation, I'm gonna give it a strong B. I may have triggered people at the end, which is gonna trigger some dislikes, but hey, you know what? It happens. 2019. What can you do? So with all that said, with all that out of the way, yeah, solid B. Wolfenstein, dope. God damn, Doom Eternal looks amazing. Yeah, so that's my rating. I want to know yours down in the comment section down below. Where do you fall on this conference? Where do you rate it? From F to A, let me hear you in the description down below. There are no wrong opinions. And yeah, so let's start a conversation, because here at Bad Big Games, that's what it's all about. It's all about E3. It's all about hype. It's all about whether you like news, reviews, podcasts called The Trophy Room, whether you like unboxings, all that jazz. Please hit like, share, subscribe. It helps me out, shows me that you care, builds this big, beautiful family that I call home, because here at Bad Big Games, that's what it's all about, the conversation. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, keep your wits about you, and have a nice one.